All right. Good evening, everybody. Dr. Glow here with Black Girl Everything. I am excited because we are in Women's History Month. We have an amazing conversation we're going to have today talking about systems that make money. Now, everybody knows I'm system orientated because I'm definitely a Black girl who gets things done with all my different businesses and organizations and still has enough time to vacation every few weeks. So I'm here today to talk with some amazing women. We have Adrienne coming all the way out of North Carolina. Then we have Dee, who's right up here with us in New York. And so we're going to be sharing some conversation about their businesses, their organizations, and talking to you all about systems and how they make things work. So let me go ahead and let them introduce themselves. They're going to tell you about where they're from, the name of their business, and they're going to give you a brief description about what they do for Black women. So Adrienne, go ahead and start us off.
Hello, everyone. My name is Adrienne. My business is with North Star Navigation. I am a business consultant. So I help women who work in call centers. I help you take your transferable skills from the center and make them into service-based businesses because you guys don't realize you guys are more skilled than you think you are. So I walk you through the process. We name it, we price it, we get it on the market as soon as possible. And I'm in North Carolina. I've been here for, it's been like 16 years. I've
Mhm.
been here. And I'm trying to be like you. I'm trying to be out here traveling every couple of weeks. So,
Mhm. Listen, how I feel. As hard as I'm working these days, I think I need to go on vacation every 4 weeks. Like I gotta go. Even if it's just a day trip, I gotta get out of here. Like, because I
yeah.
could need the time to just regroup consistently. Mental health matters. But I got a quick question for you about call centers. Last time I worked in a call center, I think it was like 1996.
Mhm.
That's like a teenager, right? So people really still do that?
It is it's still alive and going. Like I know I
Wow.
do business consulting. That is my love. But I
Mhm.
still work full time. So I still work full time. I work in call centers. So
Got it.
ladies, I know what I'm talking about when I'm talking to y'all. But I work in a call center, but I work on the management side. So I deal with the forecasting, the scheduling, the labor numbers, the metrics, the reports. That's me. I'm on the other side. But I'm with y'all
That's
every
so
single day
interesting.
talking and trying to get through them calls. So
Oh, wow. I think I need to start a
Mm.
call center. Thanks. I'm gonna have to call you so you tell me how to do it right. I
I'm
like
telling you,
that.
yeah,
Because I think that human interactions matter, right? So people
gotta have it.
love to speak to somebody, right? We can
Mhm.
sit here and
Yes.
all with emails and stuff all day long and text messages all day long, but just that, hey, are you really interested in doing this? They'll come through, definitely. So, D, talk to me. Talk to me a little bit about what you got going on.
Okay, well, I consider myself a little bit of a Jill of all trades because I have hands in a lot of pies. First and foremost, I'm a life transformation coach, which means I work with what I call seasoned women. It may not be seasoned due to age, but maybe to experience, where you are in that midlife awakening where you know you want more for yourself than what you're living. And I think Adrian, what you do fits this bill, right? When you know there's more, create that life that you dream about, that you desire, and that most of all you deserve to have. And don't let anybody tell you you can't. And I'm also a multi-published fiction and nonfiction author. And you can see back here, this is the next uh, beauty that's coming out called I'm Every Woman. And it really is trying to reach every woman, the commonality of what life is like for every woman and the experiences we have and how we get through to the other side and, you know, li live our lives in ways that are fulfilling and hopefully, as Adrian can attest to, profitable. You want to have a life that you really love.
Yeah, yeah, I can definitely dig that. I can dig that. And especially as one of the things about Black Girl Everything when we established it was really around the conversation of Black women who do multiple things. And we're really good at finding these niches in these different areas and creating organizations around them. And I just love the fact that I have you both on here because you both are reaching back and bringing others with you because that's
Yeah.
really the name of the
Mhm.
game, like being within community. We can sit here and have our own business, have fun with it, do these different things, but it's like, how are you really influencing community? That's what really
Mm.
matters. So that's another thing why I thought you two are going to be really great, especially right now during Women's History Month, to talk with
Hmm.
organizations who are really supporting Black and Brown women elevate. So it's definitely thank you both for coming on. So we're going to jump into these questions real quick. So, I sent them over to you, and sometimes I make them up as long as I go. So just bear with me and my creativity. Okay.
Nothing
Exactly.
But
wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it.
just rolling with the punches. That's what we're
Hmm.
all about, rolling with the punches today. So I'm going to start off with you, Adrienne. As you being in call centers, I know there has to be systems on top of systems on top of systems.
Hmm.
So when you hear what does systems make the money mean to you in your business journey? So, as being in those call center, working for call centers as a supervisor, putting in these systems, how are you able to translate that into your own organization?
Hmm.
Ooh, I feel like when you're talking about my call center and my business is kind of the same thing, but it's kind of not at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So in my business, automations means you're working harder, not you're working smarter, not harder. Because
Yep.
you can't be there for every DM, for every message, for every email.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you just don't have, if you're like me and you work a full-time job and you have your business, you're not going to be able to do that at the same time. And if you know how customers are, which I know how I am, when I reach out, I want to answer immediately. So
Hmm.
you want to kind
Mm-hmm.
of keep that
Hmm.
flow. You don't want to you don't want them to lose interest before you're able to even get back to them to be able to answer
Yep.
whatever question is that they
Hmm.
answer. So that's on the business side. On my work side, the automations help us get more profit. So
Yep.
there's a typical profit that we are expecting. But the more that we are able to automate, whether it's, for instance, a good example would be we used to manually call people like out to get their appointment scheduled, right? Well, we implemented a new system to where the actual computer calls and it cuts down on the time. So once you put
Mm.
a price on how much one call is, you're going to try and get that call time down to be able to get more in an 8 hour period that we are open. So for them, it's more like cutting costs without having to necessarily cut too much of the labor piece. But the parts
Yeah.
that don't require a human, they're going to cut it. However, they can get a hold of it, they're going to do it. So if you're calling and you're a human, and you're calling once, you're calling one person at a time. The computer can call 10 people at a time.
Yeah.
So it
Hmm.
just allows things to happen quicker without them having to obviously don't want to pay too much, right? They don't want to pay for overtime and all the other things. So that is what they place,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely hear you on that. But I think that's where people's like definitely with people understanding like AI. We'll talk a little bit about that as we move further along about how you can use technology to support what you're doing. Even though I find sometimes some folks are relying heavily on AI to the
Yes.
point where they're not using it as a tool to help navigate the world. They're using it to navigate their world, which is a
Yes.
totally different game, not realizing that people with brain power actually look at you like, that's not even you, homie. I
Hmm.
can tell the difference. I can tell
Yes.
the difference.
Hmm.
So, same question to you, D. How do you like systems make money? How does that really work for you in your business journey?
Okay. Well, I am at my heart a creative person.
Yeah.
So, and a little bit of a scatterbrain sometimes. So without having systems in place, uh, I would not be getting anything done. You know,
Yeah.
I would really be saying, "Oh, well, what am I supposed to do?" And have the calendar, have a timer, have all those things that set you up because I don't work outside of my business except for I teach one class
Okay.
on Saturdays. So that means everything that I'm doing is really me making decisions about my own time and how to utilize it.
Hmm. Hmm.
So to get anything done, you really need to have some systems in place. And right now, I'm just me. I am um, going to be hiring somebody soon because
Okay.
after a while it gets to be too much for just one, right? But um but in the meantime, it's just me. So I have to keep on top of everything, or I'll be thinking about, what's the story that I'm writing, or what's the this that I'm doing, and not paying attention to the minutia of the business. So it's incredibly impactful for me.
Yeah, no, I could totally dig it with that because I find that I have to constantly bring on different team members to do different things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because it's like I have to detach myself from
Hmm.
so many different parts along the way in order for all these things. Because you know where your energy is put is where you succeed. So
Right,
if
right.
I'm sitting here thinking that I'm doing everything, there's no way I'm going to succeed at everything. So I
Mm-hmm.
have to have other people put their brain power 100% into certain
Mm-hmm.
areas. So then I'm able to just delegate and follow
Mm-hmm.
up. Big word, follow up,
Absolutely.
especially when you have team
Absolutely.
members. Follow up is
Mm-hmm.
like everything. If you ain't following up, nothing's actually getting done. Mm-mm.
That's right.
It doesn't matter. You can put it in writing 15 different ways, and
Man.
they
Mm-hmm.
still find a way not to do it right.
Yep. Yep.
You're like, but didn't I give you the steps? I gave you step one,
Look,
step
One,
two, step
two.
three, step
gave
four,
you the
step five.
steps,
Mm-hmm.
gave you
Wrote
the
it all down. And gave
SOP, I gave you the
confused.
handbook, I gave you everything. Yep.
Right.
And still confused. And I'm like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
clarifying questions, people, clarifying questions. Tell them that all the time. So I'm telling you, it's been a week for me, y'all. Been a week, and it's only Monday. So, at what point did you realize you needed systems instead of the hustle? All right. So that's like talking about hiring people. So I realized even for myself, I'm answering this question first. I realized once I started the nonprofit that Black Girl Everything needed a team. So first thing I
Mm-hmm.
went was the social media manager, right? Who's somebody to manage my website because those particular things were taking 10 hours out of my week, which I
Mm-hmm.
could not afford to have. Right. So that's
Mm-hmm.
when I started to realize I need to put certain systems in place. Like I run a school. I started delegating more responsibilities about 3 years ago. Yeah, guys,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just here. I'm not really going to tell you what to do, but I'm going to tell you what to do, but I'm not going to tell you what to do. So I can pull energy and brain power into these other areas. So that was
Mm-hmm.
my actualization that those particular systems have to go into place as we, go more into it. But D, for you,
Mm-hmm.
when did you realize that the systems really weighed heavy on how you're getting things done? I know you just mentioned that you have to increase team, but speak a
Mm-hmm.
little bit more on that.
Okay, well, first of all, um, even just to have like because I started out just as a energy work practitioner. And even then, I knew I need to have I need to have somewhere where people could schedule their appointments.
Yeah.
They didn't have to call me to do that. People could schedule their
Mhm.
appointments where I could take payment without it having to, people having to put it in my hand, or where I needed ways to even just send out email to my mailing list, which
Yeah.
I had started really early. So almost right away, I recognized that I needed some of those just very basic systems in order to just
Hmm.
run my business, because I too was at that
Yeah.
time working full time. I was an elementary school teacher, and so when I get home in the afternoon, that's when I would see clients. So without that, I mean, I did not have time. I couldn't take any time during my teaching time to like, oh yeah, well you want to have Reiki? Okay, no. It was really
Yeah.
something that had to be automated. And
Hmm.
at one point, I also worked with my sister, who is a Reiki professional also. And so just differentiating between, oh, you want an appointment with her? No, you want an appointment with her so systems were there right from the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely hear that. Definitely hear that. So, Adrian, I got a different question for you. So, what are 2 to 3 core systems that every entrepreneur needs to put in place to make sure they're scaling sustainably?
Ooh, scaling. I would definitely say one, I do use a system called ManyChat.
Okay.
And I use that when it comes to, I use it mostly for when people are coming onto my page and they begin to follow me. Once they follow
Okay.
me, they actually get a message saying, hey, thanks for the follow. And I usually give them some for free. Like, hey, thanks for coming. This is kind of what you're here for because you've already read into like what the page was about. So you're
Got it.
interested. So I give them something for free, like a cute little download, something like that. And then and it kind of gets them engaged from the beginning versus them coming on and just kind of like looking around and whatever, snooping a little bit.
Mm.
That's one. Another thing I did was I got some type of system, whether it's Stan, whether it's Linktree, whether it's Gumroad, Beacons, something you need to have somewhere for them to go.
Yeah.
to be able to,
Hmm.
whether it's read up about you or what you offer or what
Hmm.
you have coming up next. You have to have somewhere to send them for them to be able to find out more information about you. So I think those two are my biggest ones. Greet your new followers quickly, and then have somewhere for everybody to be able to go to whether it's your services, your products, your events, something. You have to have something to send them to direct them to.
Yeah, I think that's dope. Like reading one, I don't think I do that. I'm gonna be doing that by the end of tonight, though.
Yeah, it's
I'm just
it's
gonna message,
nice.
excuse me, why don't we do this? I'm not understanding. I need this put in place like right
You know
now.
what's crazy? What I've learned is, you know how when you might send something out to somebody and it might not go to them, it might go like in their junk in
Yeah,
Instagram or whatnot. When they begin to follow you and you send that message saying, "Hey, thanks for the follow. Here's a freebie." If there's any interaction, whether saying thanks or they click on the
yeah,
link, that interaction now is letting the system know that you're no longer junk. So now it'll come to their primary versus you being some type of, they have to go and dig for your
yeah.
message somewhere. So it's showing that y'all
It's not a
have both
bot.
been interactive with each other. So yeah, it allows you to now message more freely. So yeah.
I like that. See, I love these types of conversations. I be taking little
Mhm.
notes. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do that now. Great. Great. That is definitely amazing. So, Dee, as an author, right,
Mhm.
and working with other authors, 'cause I know you do like your next piece that's coming out is a collaborative piece,
Yes.
right, where you have multiple contributors towards this piece of art that we're creating in the back of your head over there. Really excited
I know. Let me see
about
if I can get on
it. There we go. We see it.
it.
So, talk to me a little bit about when you're working with a group of individuals, what are some of the 2 to 3 systems that you put in place in those settings to have everybody succeed?
Okay. Well, first of all, I have a payment plan, which is for everybody to sign up to, because I allow them. I mean, we do have one specific payment, but I generally allow people to pay what they can when they can till it's done. Um, we also have a Facebook group which is very important for just communicating and communing with one another and posting. I really encourage people to post
Hmm.
whatever it is that they're doing, not just related to the book, but if we're going to be in community, then let's be in community and post things that we are
Yeah,
working on there. And for the most part, I don't really have that many systems set up for for um, for that, like for the authors
yeah,
themselves. It's really more once the book is getting ready to come out because usually we have a launch party that's virtual. We have an in-person launch party that we hold wherever we can get the majority of the authors together. And
mhm,
those are the times when we really need to get our scheduling together. We get um, who's doing what, who's going to perform when, and also a system of getting everybody who's coming to fill out
yeah,
information about themselves, and because all of these things are free,
mhm,
to show up. But we really want to know, who are our readers? How can we service them? Where are they? And so this
yeah,
really helps us to then invite people back again for the next launch, and to also provide, as Adrian was talking about, I think it's always great to give people something when they sign up, because that even though it does impact the algorithms when you do it, it also impacts the person that's signing up, because it's not
yeah,
like I'm just signing up to some amorphous thing that, maybe I signed up to the right place, maybe I didn't, maybe I like it, maybe I don't. But if you give them something when they sign up, they can say, oh, okay, I fit here, right? I belong here, and I want to keep coming back
yeah,
and finding out more. And that is really helpful when it comes time to especially to launch the not the paperback, but the online version of the book, because we really want people to help us and in our launch, and to make it successful by purchasing on or around the time that we ask them to. And that really is very helpful to boosting our numbers and the ranking that you have. In fact, our last book, and I do have a copy of it here. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it with this stuff. but this one made it to #1 new release on Kindle. And so when we had the paperback come out, we were able to print that on there.
Put your hand behind it. It might be able to see it like that.
Okay. Oh,
Oh,
no, my hand in front. Well, oh wait, I got a little piece of it there, right?
look, it's fighting.
It's so
Yeah.
funny.
But the important thing I think is to really get people involved in what you're doing. And I think as Adrienne said, giving them something where they can really hang their hat on what you do is so important.
Yeah, yeah, you just co-sign that even more for me. So now my brain, you know how creatives
Hmm.
work. We hear two things. Now I'm just like, how am I going to do this? I think I could do this way. I'm listening to you talk like, yes, that sounds like a really great idea, but this is what I'm going to do. Like, now
Mhm,
my
Right.
mind, I got
mhm.
brain
Yeah, get that
chill.
mind going. Yeah.
Yo, focus, brain focus. It's so interesting. So interesting. So, like a lot of the big parts of a lot of businesses, we talk a lot about revenue, right? So in
Hmm.
2020, when we had the burst, I love to say, of Black women-owned businesses, that everybody created these businesses and they were around. And a lot of them just weren't necessarily creating the revenue to sustain. And I think a lot of that had to do with the client experience and also had a lot to do with the overall time management, right? Because most people had to keep their full-time job, their 9 to 5, not realizing
Hmm.
your 9 to 5 can be a great funder for your business in a way.
Hmm.
Gives you that
Hmm.
security, that paycheck gives you that security so you can go ahead and create,
Hmm.
flop, win, fail,
Right.
come back, right? And
Yes.
Right.
try again. So it's just like now we're talking about like really the whole sustainability piece. Like, how are you focusing on your client? I really want to talk to more about the client experience
Hmm.
when we're looking at for our business. So, Adrienne, I'm gonna start with you first. So, the clients that you work with, like, what are some of the things you focus on from their experience of you to when you're supporting them with their businesses?
A lot of the times when I'm supporting them, it's coming down to them not believing that they have the correct skills to be able to do what they want to do. So a lot
Mhm.
of that is kind of debunking a lot of what they have going on the internal mental piece.
Yeah,
So I have to break down what they actually know what they're doing in the call center. So listen, like you're already you interview for the job. Okay, interviewing for a job is like pitching your own business. It's the same
mm,
flow. It's the same exact thing. When you are multitasking on the calls, it's like running multiple different parts of your business. It's the same
yeah,
exact thing. You're just doing it under a different microscope. That's the only difference.
Hmm.
Another thing I would do is I have a lot of women who are skilled at a lot of things.
Hmm.
So
yeah,
they struggle with I don't know what to do because I've thought about doing this, I've thought about doing
yeah,
that, and
Hmm.
they're kind of
hmm,
wavering, and like what you spoke about with the keeping the full-time job and still being able to dip and dabble and
yeah,
mentally
Hmm.
quit and then come back because you really didn't want to quit. Type you
hmm,
can play
Hmm.
that
hmm,
game when you have a full-time job. So
yep,
I have to really hone in on the service-based business part of it because it doesn't cost money to start those. You can just
no,
start. So let's not
yep,
focus on the money aspect of things. Just
Hmm.
focus on this. And I tell them all the time, you don't have to choose one thing. You can do
hmm,
multiple things. I'm asking you to
Hmm.
just do one right now to get your blueprint together. That way, when you finish with that, you can now apply the same blueprint to all the other things that you want to start. So
Hmm.
a lot of it in
yeah,
the beginning is mental, letting them see
Hmm.
exactly what it is that they can do, how they can do it, how it actually is not as difficult as they're making it sound in their head, and that they can just get this up and running literally within a day or two and be on their way. Because most people who are wanting to, and I'm working with, they already have people who are coming to them for that thing.
Hmm.
They're just doing it for
Hmm.
free. That's the only difference. So,
yeah. You know how much stuff I give away for free in some of these conversations I be having with people,
and we
and
do
you
it
know
so
sometimes
we do it so joyously. We're so happy to do
yeah,
it.
Hmm.
just
So
like,
you
oh,
might as
let
well
me
get paid for it.
tell you. Yeah, like let me tell you. And then like sometimes I'm like, I'm gonna give you this, but I'm telling you right now, if you really want more information, you have to book me. I'm sorry. Like I gotta move on my
Hmm.
Yeah.
right. Yeah, because like even on my page, like I give like 15-minute calls away to people.
Hmm.
I'm just
And
like,
you
just
love
schedule
it. I know you
jump
love
on
it.
my calendar because I love meeting new people, right? And it's
Hmm.
just like either I'm going to work with you or I'm going to sponsor one of your events. Like there's different things that I get from these conversations, but it just adds to my network, right? So it's like I'm able to tap into these people later on, like, hey, I know you do this because we learned about this at this point. So why,
Hmm.
let's connect and get this done this way, right? So it's
Hmm.
like you never know what you're going to get from these different experiences. But that's for me, is like people love to connect with me. So I love giving away
Absolutely.
my time to like
Hmm.
just let's have a chat. Let's see what we can
Hmm.
come up with. That's when
Yeah.
DG came to one of the events of the space. She was like, "Yo, let's chat." I was like, "Yeah, let's have a chat." And now she's doing a 12-week, seminar of writing at
Yeah.
the space, right? But
Right.
because you never know what you can create from these conversations with folks. So they're just like really essential. So I think it's really important. Um, so as an author too, so I'm also a published author. I did write a,
Hmm.
a book, and time management was a big deal for me, right? So
Hmm.
the talk to me about how time management is really how you are able to contribute towards your revenue. Boom.
Well, as you say, time management is key because you only have so much of you to like spread out. And even though I too love to, give away 15-minute calls, that how I really got into the business of coaching was that people kept calling me over and
Mhm.
over again about this life and that this part of their life and that part of their life. And I said, why am I not charging for this? Because they walk away happy, they go on about their life, and this is valuable information that we're
Mhm.
we're exchanging here, and this is how I got
Yeah.
into more coaching than healing aspect. But even if you come for coaching, you get a little healing. If you come for healing, you get a little
Mhm.
coaching, whichever way it works, right?
Yeah.
So, one of the things that I did not have control of was my time. I was so happy to give everything to everybody that, you get 45 minutes, I'm giving, this is what you're paying for. You're paying for 45 minutes, but I'm giving you an hour and 20, you know. And I really
Ooh.
had to take myself in hand and say, I'm not doing anybody any favors by continuing to
Yeah.
give stuff away for free because the
Mhm.
more that you are giving away for free, the less somebody has to do their own work, right?
Mhm.
And that to me
Mm.
is the key to what I'm trying to help other women do is to, transform their own life. I'm not here to judge what you want to do or how you want to do it, but if you want to step out into your life in a different way and you need someone there to say to hold your hand and help you out and give a good advice and to
Yeah.
give good structure to what you're doing, then come on, let's go. So that was one of the ways that I really had to scale back my time because the more time I spent with one person, it means that I'm not with someone else and I'm not with someone else. And then that just kind of clogs up the schedule. And you have to, especially in authoring a book, right? You have to
Mhm.
determine how much work you can get done at a particular time and how much time you need to do particular tasks and really set that aside. And that's one of the
Mhm.
things that I do work with. Some of my students are trying to open their own businesses now. And so every Sunday we meet for 2 hours. And one of those hours is more like body doubling. We're all working on the thing we need to work on at that moment. So we have one clean hour where we're just focusing on that task and nothing else. And we don't want to hear, oh, the baby's crying. We don't care. We don't because the baby's always crying. There's always going to be something that will pull you away from what you need to work on. So it's a way of, for that 1 hour, everybody is doing what they're supposed to do. And that's what I love about the writing project that we're going to start on Thursday, which is that part of that time is really just going to be devoted to actually writing. And I think that is the hardest thing for writers to do is to actually write. We think about writing, we research what we're going to write, we talk about what we're going to write, um, and we read other people's work and say, that's the way I want to write. But do we sit down and actually write? That's the hardest part. And so part of what we're going to be doing Thursday nights is sitting down and writing together. And, it's like anything else you do as a group. You do it individually, but you're in a group. It gives so
Yeah.
much added energy and so much added commitment to what you're doing. And so this is what I'm really hoping to bring forward for the people that I work with that give yourself that time to actually do the thing that you say you want to do. Because
Yeah.
unfortunately,
Yeah.
as women, I'm just going to throw in a women part in there.
Mhm.
we're always supposed to be all things to all people. And
Hmm.
then we worry about ourselves. That's what we're taught. And this is one of the things that you know, if you don't put you first, who will? So it's time to put yourself first. If this is what you really want to do in your life, whatever that is, find your time, your energy, your money, and give yourself permission to do it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
to
I
bring
totally
forward.
dig that. I totally dig that. And you said so many amazing points there. And I think the biggest part for me is the question I'm leaning to now around self-care is about when are you choosing yourself and choosing your peace? Like, I'm being very intentional. Like for people who say,
Hmm.
what am I giving up for Lent? I'm giving up not looking at people like they're crazy. Right. And I gave up because my face, some of the, I'm like all that, like I'm really committed.
Right?
Then I'm really committed to not
Hmm.
doing that. And I'm also
Hmm.
committed while Mercury's in retrograde not to be going off of a cliff. If I know there's
Hmm.
certain people who trigger me, I'm not engaging with you because you're
Hmm.
not going to drag me down a cliff with you because I already know where my brain is going. I already know where my mouth
Mhm,
is going. So I'm just
mhm.
going to,
Hmm.
those are like the things I'm keeping under control for self-care reasons. So for you, Adrienne, like, what are some of the things that you do to prioritize your self-care while you're building this empire?
That's actually hard.
I
I'm not even
know
gonna
that's why I
hold
asked
you.
you the question. I
I'm
thought
not
you was
even
going to
gonna
say
hold
no.
you. It's really, really hard. Especially when you love what you do.
Ah,
Because you're getting that love, you're getting that fulfillment. So you feel
yeah.
like sometimes that is the actual self-care, and it's not. It is
Hmm.
not. And to piggyback off of what you were saying as far as the time piece, because and I wanted to say that what I've learned is that people who pay for your time will take you more seriously and they will more likely execute if they are paid
Hmm.
time. So
Yeah.
that's the thing. But self-care, I do try to schedule something once a month, whether it's do absolutely nothing and rot on the couch. Or if it's, getting a nice simple massage, because sometimes, you might not want to, I can be a little stingy with the money sometimes. So I might not want to go out and
Mhm.
get toes and hair, and I might not want to do all that. I might just want to sit on the couch, have already shows loaded up and ready to go, and have every single piece of candy that I could possibly think I want
Hmm.
already in the pantry ready to go. Whether it's chocolate, fruity, chewy, whatever, I got it. It's in the pantry, ready, locked and loaded, and just binge watch
Mhm.
TV shows to completely check out.
Mhm.
Because a lot of you need to. When you love what you do, you have to check out sometimes. Because if you don't, you
Hmm.
can worry yourself. And I also feel like what you can do in self-care is also implement something else in the automations.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Something either that you don't
Mhm.
enjoy doing or something that is taking away the love for you.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So either or, however you want to look at it. Like for me, I don't like creating captions and hooks. I cannot stand it. I will avoid it. I will postpone it. I got 50 videos and they just sitting there because I don't want to do the captions and I don't want to do the hook.
Hmm.
It's time to get
Ooh.
somebody in there to take care of that,
Yeah.
right? So that's another piece. So it might not be the physical self-care. It could be the mental,
Yeah.
removing something off of that load, whether it's an automation or
Mhm.
you're hiring for your
Hmm.
business.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So sometimes that is self-care because it's helping you take one more step back
Hmm.
for you not to have to worry about it.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I can dig it. Self-care is binge watching TV because so what? I went on vacation for 4 days and got trapped for additional 5 days. I felt I needed self-care when I came back. So I
Right.
sat in my avocado. I have avocado jumpsuit. It's really, really cute. And I sat in this giant avocado jumpsuit for like 2 days. I did shower in between. I did take a shower in between. But I definitely sat there and I watched so much Netflix on my couch like Saturday and Sunday. And
Oh,
I did not open my email or anything. I'm lying. Sunday morning, I worked for 3 hours. I did. I committed to get 3 hours of some work done. But after that, I was right back in my avocado and I was right back
Hmm.
on the couch like this.
happy as a
Hmm.
clam. Happy as a
Hmm.
clam.
Was
Yes.
Yeah.
amazing. I woke up this morning and I was like, oh, I can work.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. You got that rest.
Yeah, yeah. And it was just so interesting because sometimes when you vacation with children, you're not really on vacation. So
Mm-mm.
I
Oh
was just
God,
like,
no.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
And then the extra 5 days with them was like, oh no, this is not really vacation. I love y'all so much. This
But
is
no.
so great. But no, yeah.
Yeah.
So that 48 hours of just like sitting still
Hmm.
and being home was, especially for somebody like
Hmm.
who just was always at work, like it was great to like be within my space. So yeah, I agree. Self-care does not actually have to cost anything sometimes. It's just really about taking a break and choosing what's for you. And me not putting on clothes for like 2 days was amazing. It
Beautiful.
Hmm.
was
Hmm.
Well, I think people don't recognize that when it comes to self-care, that rest is as important as activity.
Yes.
hmm
So if you are not resting yourself, in fact, even if you're trying to say build muscle, it's not on the days that you actually work out that your muscles are built. It's the days that you rest because then your
Yes.
Yep.
muscles have a chance to
Recruit.
acclimate themselves to
Hmm.
whatever the work you have done. And it's the same
Hmm.
way with anything else. If you're constantly, this is why I'm so against that hustle culture of doing, 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 doing
Don't like it.
constantly
Yeah.
because you never have that time to rest, to relax, to reset, to let your
Yeah.
brain, your body, your emotions settle into whatever your experiences are. So you're just constantly going without really having that kind of rudder that will say, okay, now
hmm
it's time to go in this direction or that direction, or, do it one way or the other because you never give your brain time to settle. So for me, that is the ultimate in self-care is doing nothing. Doing
I love it. I love it. I love it.
nothing.
And you're so right. You're just so right. You're so right. Because by the time I came back here like Saturday morning, I was like, I can't even think. Like I just
And then,
couldn't think. I was like, I can't move. I was like, I'll go outside the backyard, get fresh air for 5 minutes, I'll come back onto the couch. That was like the win-win of it. Because yeah, rest is definitely has to be intentional and on
hmm
purpose. Because the only way you're going to be able to really engage with your customers the
hmm
correct way. Because otherwise you're just going to be too burnt out. It's not going to work for anybody. So I definitely get that. So do you have another question for you though? How do you
Okay.
balance structure and creativity with your business? As a creative, I know your mind is
hmm
always going, even in your sleep,
hmm
your eyeballs are spinning in circles writing.
Yes.
So talk
Yes.
to me,
I've even
how do
had
you balance
dreams
the
where
two?
I'm writing in my sleep. Okay. But I think the real reality is that people don't think of things, a lot of things that you do that actually are creative as being creative. So if they
Yes.
feel like they're not
Mm,
doing something creative. I think it's incredibly creative to map out a strategy for your social media or to
Yeah.
say, okay, I'm
yeah,
going to do this now or do that. I mean, that is all creative because if you take creativity to be create to forming something novel, something new of value, we do that all the time.
yeah.
We just think somehow that that's business, right? So first of all, I'd
Mm,
like to acknowledge all of the ways that I am creative every single day. And
got it.
um, I think one of the greatest things that you can do is find a hobby that you really love and do part of it as part of your business or do it while you're doing business. This drives my daughter crazy, but I'm one of those people that I will just burst into song for absolutely no reason
I do the
whatsoever.
same thing.
And it's not like I'm in the shower. It's like wherever we are, we're walking down the street, blah, blah, I'll see something, remind me. And she's like, "Ah, okay, Ma." But you have to allow for yourself to be creative whenever it is that the moment strikes you. If you're sitting in your chair all day and you feel tired, put on some music and get up and dance a little bit. Do something that activates your happiness, right? Your either
Yeah.
your voice, your body, something. Even like right before we started, we had a little stretch. I mean, even that can really allow your brain to kind of refocus because that's really what a yawn is.
Yeah.
A yawn is your brain refocusing. So think of yourself as a creative person, and you will be one. You will find creative ways to work. And so I don't really find any dichotomy between what's creative and systems, right? I think that they kind of dovetail together. So what I really find that I would like to tell people is find some aspect of your business that you really like doing, and then hand off everything else that you don't like doing to somebody else. And that's a system that you
Yes.
can create. And whether it's handing it off to, um, sometimes I ask my daughter to do stuff that I don't
Yeah.
really feel like doing that she's much better at, right? Sometimes I will just ask myself, does this actually need to be done? Some of the things that we want to assign ourselves, we think we should be doing it, so we do it. But
Yeah.
a lot of times it really just takes activating that creative part of yourself to enjoy what you're doing. And then the system is creative.
Yeah, that's definitely I love that. I love that. Like really passing off those things that you don't really want to do. So I think it's really interesting because I have you at the call center and then I have you with passing off things. I need to pass off like 400 phone calls I really don't want to make this week to people for this fundraiser. So I'm just sitting here, I'm just like, yeah, I gotta pass that off. So it's like now
Hmm.
my thing is I'm gonna go volunteers New York tomorrow. Like, excuse me, I need like 5 volunteers to come in here because I need them to make like 400 phone calls. Because it's
Hmm.
like, and there's ways to get around it to put systems in place for those things. And this is something that's
Hmm.
had me stuck for a week. And I'm just like,
Hmm.
Um,
but now I got a plan. Thank y'all. I'm
Look,
going to establish
Good.
a little call center. It's going to be
Hmm.
listen,
great.
offload it, give them a script to go by, what
Hmm.
to say, give
Yeah.
them the details, and pass it. And by the time you come back, 2 hours later,
It's
they're
done.
all called.
It's done.
Yeah, so interesting, so interesting. And you know the universe always sets you up for exactly what you want and what you need,
Hmm.
even when you're not
Hmm.
realizing it. So I'm like really intentional about listening to the universe, right? Because the universe is going to save my life every single time. You just got to hear the messages behind what you're getting. So the information you're feeding me right now through this
Hmm.
conversation is like, okay, this is how this is really applying to my life right
Hmm.
now. So that's
Right.
great, y'all. I'm telling you, I feel so invigorated. It's going to be great tomorrow. I cannot wait to activate all these volunteers. This is
I'm
going to
telling
be
you.
Beautiful.
fabulous. So, so good.
Beautiful.
So good. So I got another question for you, Adrienne, real quick. So when we're talking really about customer perspective, I know like call center work has a lot to do with customer perspective. So I know this is this big thing, and then you was talking a little bit about computers and AI making calls
Mhm,
versus that human connection. Like,
mhm.
what's that been the customer perspective of that you've been receiving so far with this increase in AI use?
When we first launched it, they hated it. I mean, the customers hated it. And we understood why, though. I mean, we understood why. Imagine
Yeah.
you getting a call and you pick it up and they're telling you to hold for a second because someone's going to come to the phone. It's like you called me.
Yeah.
Why am I holding?
Hmm.
We
Claire.
I under yeah, and that's something that happens, and we get it. But at the same time, because of the call center space or the industry, everybody's it's not a thing new.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Same thing when you used to call and you get the prompt. If you need this, press one. If you need
Yeah.
this, press two. It's the same exact thing. It's just they're elevating it because half the time our agents when they're calling out and they're spending time making one call only at a time because they're human,
Hmm.
people
Yeah.
are not picking up. So it was
Hmm.
wasted time versus a
Yeah.
computer calling 10 people at one time. They
Hmm.
all don't pick up. It leaves them a voicemail and it moves on to the next 10. So
Hmm.
we just got
Understood.
done with 80 calls in an hour versus that one person being able to only do 10.
Hmm.
So sometimes
Yeah.
it's not about reaching the customer, it's about making sure that you're hitting the metrics. So for
Mhm.
instance, I work in a medical call center. So when we receive orders for patients, they give you once we get the order, we supposed to reach out at least 24 hours later and say, "Hey, we have your order. Let's get you scheduled." But we
Yeah.
can't reach that if we have because I we schedule for all of North Carolina. So
Oh.
if we have, I'll say 8,000 orders come in a day. We don't have enough agents to call all 8,000 orders that came in. We need that system to call as frequently as possible to one, make that first contact, whether it's voicemail
Hmm.
or not. And then two, they actually do hold, then for them to actually speak to somebody and get scheduled. So on one
Oh,
Hmm.
side, it is
yeah.
necessity, but on the other side, I understand their point too, because I ain't gonna hold you. When I call any call center, I don't care what that prompter is telling me. I need a representative and I need them now. I'm not
Hmm.
That's me.
interested in what yeah,
Representative.
in the microphone. Okay. Got the headphone, like the headpiece in my like I don't and it's not sometimes it's not about what if they can help you or not.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't feel like the computer actually understands what you're saying and what you're looking
Hmm.
for. because
Yeah.
they can't answer all the questions. So how about we just
Right.
skip all this all together? I'll speak to somebody and just keep
Mm-hmm.
all it all together. I don't care. It's fine with me. So
Mm-hmm.
as a consumer piece, I understand why they get upset about it because we wasn't on the phone when we called. I get that. At the
Yeah.
same time, you were one person that picked up out of 25.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we kind of it makes them upset, but it weighs because it's about scheduling and getting the
Mm-hmm.
people in and making the money. So that's what they're gonna
Okay.
do. They're gonna do it every time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that makes sense to me. That makes sense to me. Thank you for that clarifying question because
Yeah.
I just really was I was at another meeting a couple of weeks ago. And we was having a conversation around that. People like, well, people want that human connection, and I'm just like, well, who has time to call 400 people? And
Mm-hmm.
then it's looking at me like that's a lot of
Yeah.
dialing the phone numbers and then having to write
Mm-hmm.
notes in and then having to actually then some people want to keep you on the phone for 15 minutes. So and
Mm-hmm.
so it's like
Yes.
then you get them on the phone and now you're like, oh hey, how are you? This is what we're doing, blah 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 and all that engagements that's
Yes.
happening. But if you have a system
Mm-hmm.
that's sitting here dialing the next 15 people, then
Mm-hmm.
you can kind of move things along a little bit. So
Yes.
yeah, so I do understand, but I do understand the need for human connection
Yes.
because we all
Mm-hmm.
want human connection.
Mm-hmm.
So that definitely makes sense. I think that we covered so much ground in this conversation today,
Mm-hmm.
but I have one more question for you both. D, I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
start with you. Answer first. If a woman is
Okay.
watching the panel, right, and feels overwhelmed by their operations, what is the first step that you think they should take this week?
I think that they should spend the week seeing what things they do over and over again and finding a way to automate those things, right? Um, because I can't look into each woman's business to know what it is that their particular issue
Mm-hmm.
is. But if you're if you're calling people over and over, or people are reaching out to you on your website, say, I'm having somebody work on a chatbot for me that will
Mm-hmm.
be able to just answer some basic questions like, I had somebody say, can you tell me more about your business? This is one of
Yeah.
the things that they say all the time. Your chatbot might be able to
Yep.
answer just a few basic questions, and if you go beyond that, then schedule a call. Give them
Mm-hmm.
a link to the schedule so that they can have a call with me or whatever. And I just want to say one thing about AI, which is that I really believe AI is Skynet, and that eventually it's going to kill us all. But in the meantime, I think we really should enjoy it and be able to use it. But it's like anything else that's new, right? Like like
Yeah.
like Adrian was saying, everything else that's new. I'm sure that when I don't know, motor cars came around, people condemned it as something of the devil to be
Mm-hmm.
able to drive a car. So every time something is new and something changes, doesn't mean that it's a bad thing necessarily, but it's a great tool. And as you say, when it's a tool, it's a great tool,
Yes.
but it shouldn't be running
Yeah.
everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
It's definitely just a tool.
Correct.
So same question for you, Adrian. What is something that you would tell somebody to like is be their first step when they're feeling overwhelmed?
I would, it's kind of linked, but I would one figure out just one simple thing that you want to do. That is one.
Hmm.
And I promise you, it's so much more simple than you might think. I'm gonna give one example. I have a client and she loves doing hair, but she doesn't have a license to do hair.
Mm-hmm.
So she felt like that was something that she was not going to be able to do. But what we were able to put together for her is that now she just offers the services of take down people's braids. You
Wow.
don't need a license to take down braids. And then we offer one more service, and the other one was some people. There's a lot of ladies like to do their hair on their own. They like to do their own
Yeah.
braids. They buy the hair, they do it themselves. But she offers a service where if you come to her, wash and blow dried, she will section off your hair into the parts, and then you
That
can go
is
back home
completely
and you just
brilliant.
do. But you see what I mean? What I mean is
Hmm.
she was having a roadblock because she doesn't have a cosmetology license.
Yeah.
What you don't have to have that in order for you to, and she stays very booked.
I could imagine.
She stays
Yo,
very booked. Do you
I
know how
can
much if
imagine.
I wore braids, because I have a daughter, but you think I wouldn't pay her to take my daughter's braids down? Because I don't want
Mm-hmm.
to do it.
Mm.
I never want to take the braids out.
No.
Send me the link so I can swipe this card.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do it. So
Mm-hmm.
just those two services alone, she's doing amazing. So that's what I mean by it's not as hard as people may think it is. That was the one example I wanted to give. The second
Wow.
thing I would do outside of finding what you want to do is find or put something together for to send them to. Whether it's a booking site, a
Yeah.
payment link, and mind you,
Hmm.
Linktree is free, Beacons
Mm-hmm.
is free. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Stan Store is.
No, I don't think it is
I
either.
don't think Gumroad is either.
Mm-mm.
But you have two free that you can just put it up. You
Mm-hmm.
have to have somewhere to send people who are interested.
Mm-hmm.
If you have your a simple service and somewhere to send them for them to be able to book, that's a good place to get started.
Yeah. Yeah. I really like that somebody comes and parts
Mm-hmm.
your hair for you. Back when I had hair, I used to braid my own hair all the time. So it was just like
Okay.
if I had somebody
Mm-hmm.
who's to part my hair out for me, yes.
Yeah,
Do I
because
have to use
Mm-hmm.
you had to have a mirror right here and you couldn't get the line straight. Yeah, no,
Mm-hmm.
no. She'll just section it off and then once you leave her appointment, you go back home and you just feed the hair through and continue doing your braids. That's it.
Mm.
that and taking the braids out? You know how often my wife and I have to trade off on who's taking our daughter's hair out? And I'm the one who usually braids it, by
Mm.
the way. So why do I have to take it out?
That's a good
Nobody wants
question.
to do that.
Oh
Why am
my
I taking the
goodness.
hair out?
That is so phenomenal. That is so
Yo, I'm so
phenomenal
impressed.
because I stopped wearing braids because I didn't want to take them out. I didn't want to take them out, so I didn't put them in anymore.
I'm telling you, she makes really good money doing just those two things without a license. You don't need to take
Mm,
people's braids down. You don't need that for that.
mm,
No.
mm, mm,
Wow. That's so interesting. So interesting.
mm.
Well, thank you so much for that insight. Listen, you guys have been
Mhm,
dropping gems tonight. It has been an amazing
mhm,
conversation around automation and systems that make the money. I would appreciate you both coming out today and like really sharing this information with
mhm,
my audience and with your audience because we all know this is
mhm,
going to live on the Black Girl Everything page and you guys are
mhm.
going to get some sound bites you're going to be able to use in the future. So again, my name is Dr. Glow. I'm the CEO of Black Girl Everything. You can follow me at Black Girl Everything LLC. Let's go ahead and look that up. So Adrienne, please tell people how they can reach you and follow you.
Yes, so on most of actually on all my platforms, it's the same. So it's North Star Nav, just NAV LLC, and that's on all platforms. That's Instagram, that's YouTube, that's all of them.
Perfect. D.
And I am D Savoie LLC, so it's DEESAVOIE. I got a lot of rhyming going on in there. LLC. Or you can just find me at DSavoie, DEESAVOIE. And that's my website. And I would love to connect with anybody out there who is interested in finding out more about what you do and what I do and what we all do here. So,
Yeah, definitely,
and I just
definitely
want to
amazing.
say
So
thank you to Dr. Glow for having us
Yes,
today. It
thank
really has
you.
been a pleasure.
Yes,
yeah,
it
no,
has
I love
been
these conversations, and
awesome.
and that's why I hold it for my first Mondays. I'd be really excited to have these conversations with people, just to connect and see what we get from it. Like I got a lot out of this today. You guys have given me some real solid feedback on some things
Mhm,
that I can do also to create better systems for my
mhm,
business. And things I can share with the people who I'm coaching, who I'm working with. Like I got some
Mhm.
stuff. I'll go back and listen. This is what I learned last night. This is what you got to do. Right? Like it's
Yep.
definitely dope. Definitely dope. So I want to thank you all again for tuning in. Thank you for all who are watching us. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel in case
mhm.
somebody else will subscribe too. All right, so we're all winners out here. Good night.
Good
Thank
night.
you.
Good night. Thank you.